this morning I asked myself, why would somebody want to understand this distinction? Is it because they are told they're loved, but really they feel like they're being judged all the time? Or is it because they are trying to create a kind of love, but find themselves in a kind of intellectual conflict with their world because the world just isn't good enough and something is always wrong? If we haven't met, my name is Anya. This is my book on consciousness, reality, on how to interrupt even the most stubborn patterns and create exactly the kind of life and love that you want. The book is about identity, which is really important to understand when it comes to setting the foundations right, when it comes to love. See, our true nature is love, God, oneness, everything. And then at one point, our consciousness assumes a kind of mask, an identity, a thought that we mistake for the reality of who we are, kind of costume that we put on because we're required to play a certain game. And then we forget that we're wearing this costume and enter into the relationship with the world, trying to replay the game over and over again in order to return back to that original state of love, except believing, because we're looking at life through the prism of this identity, believing that we have to follow the conditions of the old game in order to take the costume off. Before we do the work to discard or detach from this conditioning that we mistake for who we are, our relationship with ourselves and our relationship with the world, especially with our loved ones, is going to be the one of judgment by definition. I am not you. You are the other. I am the other to God. I am the other to you, whoever you are. You need to do something different in order for me to be okay. This is what the world is supposed to look like in order for me to come into that place of connection and oneness with myself. So love puts on a mask, forgets that it's wearing a mask. Then that mask judges the world, tries to control it, but calls it love until love wakes up and takes the mask off. Basically, what most people call love is just an attempt to return to love, to abandon the anxiety of self-judgment in fixing the world and pointing fingers to you and controlling it in such a way that I am able to relax and come back to myself when the world is right. Absolutely hopeless. Instead, the path to creating the kind of love and the world that we want is to drop the mask that we've taken on as a result of living in the world that is caught up in separation, where no true love is really available, where we were starving for love. Go to that love independently on our own and build out from there. Build from a place that is not threatened by behavior, by the looks, by the choices. It doesn't mean we have to agree to bad behavior. This is really important. When your connection to love is so unthreatened, when you are not in a relationship with judgment within yourself, when you're one thing, it's a lot easier to say no to bad behavior. Judgment masquerades as love when love has forgotten its nature and put on a mask that requires judgment in order to exist. If we're interested in this, likely we have people who don't see us for who we are, that constantly judge us. But we have to remember, in my world, in our world, it has to begin with me. I have to give up judging myself, then their judgment is not going to stick. And then I can have access to the kind of love I want here, and I can connect it to the same kind of love out there in the world. If you're interested in this, check out my book. It's all in here. It's why it works this way. It's not just about love. It's about anything, money, career, anything your consciousness has a relationship to. The middle section is practical inquiry methods, how to discover these thoughts and beliefs that you mistake for who you are, that create that split, separated relationship within you. And the last part is just holding your hand through the process of dissolving this old reality, because it can get a little overwhelming and confusing. The book is available here on TikTok Shop. Just click on the orange card below.